Let's talk about your brand new handles. In gymnastics, these are referred to as parallettes. You might see them as push-up bar handles in the shops or in fitness gyms, but these are very specific to the sport of gymnastics. Used for L-sits, straddle sits, press to hands, handstands, planches, and handstand work. They're useful in gymnastics because they allow the hand to find stability on the floor while being inverted. So it's a kind of a push-pull action that helps you stay in balance. But our application for these, at least initially, is to help us with groundwork, crawling patterns, and transitions, and basically getting down on the floor. You see, one of the things I encounter with getting adults into rewilding is that few adults that I meet have the strength and the flexion or capacity to bear their weight on the floor or endure this sort of fully flexed position while crawling on the floor. The handle allows us to overcome that deficit and to bring ourselves into contact with the floor in sort of a gradual and progressive way. These handles are very different, have a very different profile to the push-up handles you might find on the shops. They have a much wider base, they're thicker in the dowel at the end, they have a lower profile to the floor, and that's to stop them from wobbling or to prevent wobbling. Now these are an injury prevention device in one sense to get you down on the ground, but there are some caveats to their use. For example, try to always grab the handle in the center. Secondly, when using the handles, make sure they are always slightly turned out. That's to guard against wobbling. And if you are using them on a very soft or uneven ground, be careful of the fact that they might tip over if all of your weight is pushing in one direction. You want to make sure that you don't lose your wrists over the top. For the most part, we would be walking with these as kind of like as a base for our wrists. But it is possible to use the handles by taking your hands off and on the handles if you are doing activities. Just be mindful though, that if you are doing an activity where you're reaching back to place your hand, you're doing so in a way that you have practiced, and one that is not going to, again, put your weight on the handle in such a way that you tip over. I don't want you to get an injury using a device designed to prevent them. We will use these handles over time for a large range of activities, but the first one that we're going to be using them for is groundwork, ground crawling patterns, and transitioning from floor to stand. So let's get started.